Hello YouTube, this is Galby Hugo here, and this is my guide of Dark Souls 3, or my walkthrough as I like to call it, but it can serve as a guide also. Now, first thing you might notice here is that we're in crucifixion modes even though the video is titled Farron Keep, and that's because earlier on in my walkthrough I actually never unlocked the bonfire, and it serves as a good purpose to show the route to the bonfire, since there's really no point clicking on the bonfire earlier anyways, because you know, going down that ladder is going to take just as much time to run here anyways, so you know, it works out fine. And as you also may notice, I'm using a completely different character. This is because in my first run through in the recording of Farron Keep with my main character, I completely messed up the route. However, it was only for the first video segment, so I'll be back to my proper walkthrough character soon. This one is actually much lower leveled with a much weaker weapon, and yeah, it goes fine, but yeah, that's all. First I'm going to pick up this purple moss clump, which reduces poison buildup and removes the poison status effect, although I'll never use them because really purple moss clumps are kind of useless because poison is just so weak. Pick up iron flesh, that's an interesting pyromancy spell, but we're not a pyromancer, so we're going to continue on. There's nothing in that direction that I was going. At the end there's some items, but we're going to loop around and get those later anyway, so I just pick up those two items to save time later on. Before coming over here looking for the wagon, it's not great because poison is so weak anyways, but it does reduce poison buildup, and since you're in a poison swamp, then I think it is pretty useless anyways. I see no harm in it. It is lighter after all. Continuing on, I pick up some more items, things like Titanite shards. I get the stone parma as well, and an Estus flask shard before going up the stairs to the first of the three flames you need to extinguish to open the gate to the boss of this area. But yeah, first I do pick up some items. Prism stones there's the stone parma underneath the slug, so make sure you pick this up. It's an okay shield. I just like to pick out any of the items you can actually use. If I miss a Titanite shard here and there, I'm not bothered, but I will try and get everything for the sake of completion, as I have done in most of the areas so far. And those that I haven't picked up, I've noted watching are to you, and over why I didn't bother to get them. Mainly because I didn't have a bow earlier on, so I couldn't shoot down some of the items that were hanging from Undead Settlement. But without complaining too much, I did pick up the Estus shard there, so make sure you do pick that up, it's very important. And up here is where you get the first flame. Some of these are the grue. These grue are kind of weak enemies, but there are one type of them, the ones with no weapon, that are extremely difficult, or extremely punishing I should say. And too difficult. They have a very limited moveset with only 3 attacks. But the thing is, all 3 attacks hit really hard, one of them being a grab, one of them being a poise-breaking jump in the sky that kills you or deals a lot of health damage, and of course there's just their plain, you know, melee attack, which I never worry about. Now, I'm going to go and pick up rotten pine resin here and return down the bottom of the stairs where I came from. The reason I'm not continuing on from this side, where there's another stairs down, is because we'll miss a very important item if we do so, the Sage's Coal. Now it's guarded by a Dark Wraith, which is a quite difficult enemy if you haven't fought them in Dark Souls 1. They're in Dark Souls 1, and they have a similar moveset, although completely the same. I'm going to go and fight that now and get the Sage's Skull, which you can bring to Andrew the Blacksmith to unlock more weapon fusions. I don't show any of my items in these videos, it just takes too much time. But every key item I do get, I do hand in, and honestly I don't use most of them because most of them are for rendering and territories, and of course I'm only melee. On this character I've only got 2 spells, I can only use one of them, so yeah. This Dark Wraith is kind of kicking my ass, but yeah, that kind of happens. I sometimes have very good, you know, fights with these guys and just kill them instantly. Sometimes they just poise through all my attacks and something else. It happens. It's just like but I do finish this one guy off here, and he drops into the dark and it's an attack dead eye orb, so that was kind of nice, but I'm never going to use either of those things on this character anyways. I pick up the Sage's Skull, which I was talking about, and continue forward, and this will be our first glimpse at one of those weaponless grue that I was talking about, and you'll see just how vicious and ferocious they are. And that's the stairs back up to the flame to my right there, and yeah, so it really brings you just straight down to the same area, but you get no items for it, so why bother? Gonna go up and try and kill this grue, but he's gonna kick my ass. I'm gonna grab him and do this crazy grab attack that's a lot of blood, and he gets buffed, but fortunately I don't get hit again, so whatever. Or I might get hit once more, I don't think I do though. So they don't have tons of poise, but they can poise through everything with their jump attack, which is, oh, I got quickly. As I was saying, the jump attack is quite... It doesn't do as much damage as the grab, of course, but it's so annoying, especially if you swing as they start to jump, because then you will not be able to dodge out of the way. You'll still be in recovery frames. Over this side, I'm just going to pick up 2 items on either side of these kind of sunken bridges, or I don't even know what you'd like to call them. I guess they're kind of... I think they're like broken bridges, or, you know, collapsed buildings. I'm not really sure. Purple moss clump on that side, pretty useless. I'll kill one of these. These are weaponless grooves as well, but I like to call these the dog grooves, since they just are pretty much dogs that take 1 extra hit. Not much different than a moveset or anything. Just as annoying though, so be careful of those. And up here I pick up the greatsword, very important strength weapon. I'll not be using it because I'm not a strength character, but it is very good. I did use it a lot in Dark Souls 2, and I absolutely love that weapon. It got me through my first playthrough of Dark 2 pretty nicely. Over here I'm going to pick up just the 1 item, and I'm going to actually go up the stairs this time. Around to the... Oh, I'll clear the screen, let's jump up that first when I die. But to the left here, to my right now, I'm going to pull off the binoculars and have a look over there, and you'll see that there's 3 of these swamp beasts, and we'll come back to them later. Not on this character, as this character doesn't have a good bow to really pull them one at a time, but later on when I get back to my main character, my walkthrough character, I will tackle those guys too. Over here's the second of the 3 flames, and you might say, well, this is a pretty short area, and you're right, it is kind of a short area, if not more, that's very annoying, certainly. But once you've done the first 2, you'll have to do quite a journey to get to the 3rd one. Not because, like, it's pretty close. I mean, if you ran to it, you'd be fine. But the thing is, I don't usually run to it because there's so much nice, great loot in the way. As the reason the screen went black there is because a cutscene started and I skipped the cutscene, so I had to wait for load frames on both sides of that cutscene. I don't know why that is. If it's not reloading the area, it's just playing it. But the clip isn't very interesting. It just shows that the fire that we're putting out is actually helping to open the door to the boss of the area. So yeah, I just want to show you that it just takes too long. It really doesn't give you any extra information, then I will be able to tell you, and also it's not very interesting. I will keep the Abyss Watcher's boss fight cutscene in. Spoiler for the name of the boss of this area, but shouldn't really walk through, right? Take these guys because not caring about the poisoned 90% of the time in the swamp anyways. And here's a bonfire, and here's where I'll switch to my main character, so to speak. Pretty much instant switcher. Pretty awesome, right? And yeah, that was really the part I messed up, so I did go back and get every item, but every item here from this main character forward will be untouched. So first off, we'll drop off to the left and clear off the left side first, including those 3 swamp beasts I talked about earlier. I'll finish those off too. Picking up a titan, I try to be careful of these grue dogs, because there's a few of them here hidden behind trees, and they can ambush you. I don't believe I get ambushed here myself, but they can ambush you. I actually was sort of ambushed there, I guess. He didn't arrive in time to help his buddy, but he was there. And there's a crab ahead, and I would not advise fighting in this thick swamp, unless, of course, you have help. That help I would giant firing arrows in this case. Between the tree here, so not a lot of them do that. Actually, at least get locked in. And the Hawkeye bow is out. It's not actually a Hawkeye bow. And I pick up the Farron Keep, which is great for mages. They're down, not all by a lot, but by some. And it's the only, I think it's the only headpiece in the game that actually has a special effect, other than, of course, the Thorn Armor of Kirk. But yeah, that's a special case because the entire set does that. But I think Crown of Dusk is actually the only other armor piece in the game even that boosts any stats or does anything. And I put on the Brigand Daggers here to show off something, which is the fast movement that you can make in the heavy swamp. by using the R2 weapon art of the Brigand daggers, or of course any dagger in the game, or most of them at least, and even some axes have them, like the Fall axe. It's pretty good, isn't it? It just gets you through that swamp much faster. At the cost of focus points, of course, but I have plenty of those anyways, so yeah, continuing on. There's 3 of these grew in this area. I'm going to take them out and get the... I think it's the Sage's Scroll. In fact, no, I'm just certain it's the Sage's Scroll. It's actually a really good scroll, by the way. Unlock some of the basic sorceries that you're going to want. You get locked some of the Farron stuff as well. Yeah, Sage's Scroll, pretty awesome. And next up, we're going to continue on and snipe 3 of these great swamp beasts that I was talking about earlier. The reason you snipe them, by the way, is because it will pull them to you so you can kill them with your melee weapon, but you don't want to pull 3 of them at a time, and that's death. I mean, I think it's pretty certainly unavoidable death. I challenge anyone to run in there and kill all 3 of them without time. Unless they're like soul level 3, of course. I mean, after points up there, what I'm at now is level 4. Oh wow, I nearly died. Showing off my new skills. Thankfully I didn't die. I saved myself the embarrassment though. So this one drops nothing. I don't know if it's random or what, but 2 of them drop items and 1 of them doesn't, and I always thought that one was the one that dropped the bow that I wanted, but apparently not. And next up I'll pull this guy. And I believe this one drops me a hat, which is the Farron's hat, which is another item I didn't really want, but I got it, so it meant I had to kill all 3 of them to get the bow, which doesn't usually happen. Usually I get it first thing. That's why I always thought it was the one I did first. It drops it, because I was gonna die. Apparently it's so there I get the hat, and then pull the last one and get the bow, of course, because it's obviously a 100% drop from one of them. It's not always sure which one it is, and I guess I've just discovered it. Yeah. And it's a nice upgrade, not just impure damage, but it has a nice scaling. It's faster and has a nice... Oh, I don't know about the weapon. I haven't really used it. I generally don't like killing things, and I just picked up a black bow first, and I'll switch that now. And I'll show you off the stats. So as you see, it's better scaling, worse pure damage, but it is slightly faster. So, and once upgraded, of course, the scaling will mean that it will do more damage overall. And now I'm going to teleport to the last bonfire, but I cut out all of the boring stuff. Or apparently not. I thought I would have cut out all of that. Okay, resting at the bonfire and getting straight back up. This time we're going to go to the right, because we've already been to the left and cleared that side. And yeah, we've actually completely cleared the left side of the swamp. So yeah, right side now. And the first item we're going to get is probably one of the most important items in the entire swamp, an Undead Bone Shard. Although you do get ambushed by a bunch of giant slugs, however pleasant that may be. They will kill you pretty easily, although I do one hit them, they do kill you pretty easily because you can get stun locked by like 6 or 7 of them at once, which there are a lot more than 6 or 7, like 9 or 10. A lot of those guys. Oh, maybe not. I thought there might be double more. Undead Bone Shard though, that's pretty nice. And there's a lot of items in this area, and there's 2 paths to go. So there's a path which goes up this ladder, and that leads to another bonfire and a mini boss, or this path which leads to the 3rd of the fire that you need to put out. So I put a Titan Shard there, and I continue forward. I believe I go to the fire now, so yeah. It doesn't really matter which way you go, but it's probably actually best to go with the fire first, if only to kind of clear the majority of the area, because once you're done here with the fire and picking up these items here, there's literally just up the ladder to go, as well as like 1 or 2 other items that are kind of niche anyways. I get invaded by an NPC here, which is fine. I have to kill this guy. I've got some experience in doing that, so face tank always magic. I'm probably better off face tanking the magic, and I try to pick up an item there that I can't see, and it's a stone great shield, which is, I guess, a pretty rare drop because I've not actually seen it, but I usually skip these monsters anyways, but I hadn't actually seen it before, so yeah, that's nice. That's something really good. And yeah, just up these stairs and you're up to the last fire, but I first get company, and it's so strange because I've never ever aggroed these guys before, but I got both of them this time. This my character is just pretty unlucky. Maybe it's because I'm from South America. Anyways, I do kill him and put out the fire, and then obviously I'm going to deal with the invader after this, who's pretty darn close and pretty darn lethal, so you do have to be careful. And the blackness is of course from the cutscene, which just initiates and cuts back to us again, because I didn't skip it before. And here's one of these weaponless screws. Creepy guys, right? I took care of this one really easily. It's like he did not do any attacks, and it wasn't because he's staggered, because he's a stagger biting attack himself, so it made no sense. I think I'm surprised by the invader here, who's wearing an obscuring ring, which obviously hides you if you're too far away from your prey. It is an NPC though, so it's pretty much a quick few staggers until he's low on health. He heals with his Estus every time, but it's not really going to help when I can just poke him to death with the rapier. And he's dead, dropping nothing this time, although I keep looking back to check if he did maybe drop a rare, crazy rare drop, but no, he doesn't. And I've already gotten the Xanthus Crown and Hazel Pick from the first time I defeated him in the Crucifixion ones, which sometimes, you know, you'll miss him in the Crucifixion ones and pick him up here, which is fine, but I didn't, so I get a double shot killing him and killed him both times, so yeah, whatever. Next we're going to continue, and by the way, I didn't run down the end of that area, by the way, which I was just at where I picked the large soul there, because all there is basilisks with no items, because I already picked up the iron flesh that would have been at the end of that path at the start of the video, so that's why I don't know, and that's where it loops around from. And up there you'll notice some items, they're out of reach, I'll get them later as well. They are a hollow gem and atonement, and you get them from a bonfire before the boss of the area. So I'll continue on here and fight some basilisks, which are really annoying enemies. They don't do damage to you, but they do curse you, and once you get cursed, you instantly die. It sounds fun, right? It's really not fun, especially if you just get like ambushed by 4 or 5 of them. I take out those 2 and there's like 4 more ahead of them, so I do manage to beat them with ease, but they can be very annoying, especially if you get cursed, because it just makes you so annoying. It's not fair, man, it's not fair. I stand on the curse here for way too long, but thankfully my mistake didn't, you know, get punished. Come up here, I kill out the last one of them and pick up the last items of this side as well. So now I've only got a couple of items around that tower where the ladder was, as well as the ladder itself. I pick up the golden scroll, which unlocks the Ulasil sorceries, and I pick up the antiquated set, which is obviously Dusk's set from Dark Souls 1, but I won't talk about that. Dark Souls 1 lore is probably better found out about elsewhere. I quickly go back to the shrine bonfire and level up, do all that kind of stuff. There's no point in wasting souls, so I do that. Next up I'm going to be taking a right again, going up the ladder and killing the mini-boss at the top, and picking up the last couple of items down here at the bottom level, and that's really it for the swamp, oddly enough. Even though it's so daunting, it's so large and encompassing and awful to navigate through, it's really not that chocked full. In just less than 20 minutes, in fact it's probably only been 15 minutes actually in the swamp, I've managed to clear all of the items right now. As soon as I picked up that Sunlight Talisman, I had everything. There is obviously the ladder I was talking about, there's stuff up there, but that's not in the swamp, it's just another like optional area of the connecting to the swamp, if you get what I mean. And you'll see when I get up there, it looks nothing like swamp. Finish off these snails or slugs, because they're really annoying, not because I have to, I just climb past them. Unless of course they shot their spit at me, and if that happened I would have fallen off the ladder to my death, or probably just, you know, not, because I wouldn't have been tall enough or high enough if I'd fallen. I will go to the right when I get to the top instead of going inside. I believe I do anyways. Yeah, I do. And the reason I do this is because there's an illusory wall up here and a crystal lizard, so you get a double whammy by coming around this side. And yeah, you know what they say about double whammies? It's as fun as normal whammies. So get the Twinkling Titanite. and unlock the illusory wall, which gives us the Dream Chaser's ashes, a very important set of ashes, because it unlocks quite a few things from the Handmaiden, such as the Life Ring, and some others. And she also has unique dialogue about it, although you won't get to see that, unfortunately, as I'm cutting off all of the Firelink Shrine stuff, mainly because I spend way too much time in Firelink Shrine just doing nothing, except, you know, browsing items and stuff. It wouldn't be very interesting for a walkthrough. Yeah, so I just looked through some of the items I picked up on my way up to the top here. That's a very long elevator, but I do put it back down again, just in case I do die. Thankfully I don't, but you never know. You can always, you know, just get unlucky sometimes. Marvelous views up here as well. High Wall of Lothric, a Lothric Castle. You get to see the Cathedral of the Deep on the other side. And it's gorgeous. I highly advise, you know, when you get to a high point, just take a look at the distance. It's certainly worth it. Next up, I'm taking like this stray demon or the sorrow demon. Not really fun to a wave set, but he doesn't have a powerful grab attack for your fight or a ranged over you. It's also fantastic. If you just stay close and behind, you should be familiar with it. And if it's the just stay behind the jump down attack, and the jump down attack is really exploitable because it leaves him vulnerable for a few seconds just to swing. Also, he does have other attacks he does do when you're so you roll into them. Very easy to avoid. The tail swipe can catch you off guard, but it doesn't do a lot of damage, so it kind of works out. The only problem is if you get staggered by the tail swipe and he does a grab attack after, you might have a bit of hard luck there, but you should be fine. In general, stick behind the boss and you'll probably avoid most of its vicious swinging frontal attacks. So yeah, and that's not all that's up here. Instead, there is behind this gate where you have to drop down the side to get to the other side of. There will be three, yes that's right, 3 crystal lizards and 2 items, one of them being your basic damaging miracle in the game. In fact, it's the only one you'll have up till this point, unless you've picked up Gnaw from the Cathedral of the Deep. But it's the only good, well, it's not even that good, but it's the only, you know, spammable generic miracle you'll have picked up to this point. And the Dragon Crest shield, and I'll show you that when I get it, of course. Taking out the crystal lizard, gotta be careful because if these guys get away, you know, it's a pain in the ass to reload the game to a point where they're alive. I get a large cyanide shard there, which is actually quite useful, and I struggle to hit this guy. Just not giving me anything. I got another large cyanide shard off him though, which is actually quite useful because things like Twinkling Titanite are just completely useless to me if I'm not using Twinkling Titanite upgrade path of weapons. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, sure, if you need Twinkling Titanite, it's great, but if you don't need it, it's not great. It's fairly self-evident, but it's true, so whatever. I go pick up this last crystal lizard. There's some enemies in this area, like these knights that are from the basic starting age game, but I don't really bother with them. Like, I think I kill like 1 or 2 of them, and then I just, you know, run past and run the hell out of here. Of course, you can just not homeward bone and take the elevator down, but I like to save time, and well, I don't want to wait for the elevator to come back up. I'm that lazy, or the opposite of lazy. I don't want to wait. I want to get straight back into it. So I teleport here and I cut back to the Keep Ruins bonfire, or yeah, I think it's the Keep Ruins bonfire. Yeah, it certainly is. And I am going to go and unlock the bonfire before the boss, not the boss itself, but the bonfire before the boss. And I'm going to go and grab a couple of items you've seen from the swamp earlier, but that aren't part of the swamp. You can't actually access them from the base swamp. You have to go through this door, which is, I guess, part of Farron Keep, but not part of the swamp area of Farron Keep, if that makes any sense. I hope that does. It's a very confusing, you know, outreaching area with a few like optional side paths from it. You know, it's quite interesting overall, actually. One of my favorite areas in the game in retrospect. I hated the first time playing through here just because of how sprawling it was, you know, how difficult some of the enemies were, especially the guru with no weapons. Items. But it's also kind of challenging every time you move them through here, and it's also quite nice that there's a beauty in its misery almost. I don't want to put misery, it's not grim, but yeah, like point, it seems so, you know, deprived, the area. It seems like it was something great once, but it's fallen into ruin, and that just, you know, sounds awesome to me. So I come around here and unlock the last bonfire, which is at the end of this path. I do check for an item down here, because I'd never noticed that there was actually a ledge you could fall off to here, but it actually turns out there's no items there, which is so unfortunate because I got excited there that I'd be able to show you guys something new, that it would be new to me as well, but unfortunately not, although I did get to the stone, no, not the, yeah, the stone shield, the big stone shield earlier on, which is pretty damn awesome. And right in front of us here is the bonfire, and there is also quite a few other interesting things up past this bonfire, which I'll go get now before I go challenge the super awesome boss in this area, and I can't wait to get there, guys, because it is so good. And he kicks my ass too, so you get a doubler. I can backstab this guy, which is awesome. But it doesn't really matter because they die in like 2-3 hits anyways. I don't get the backstab in this guy because something messed up with the lock on or whatever, but it doesn't really matter because I was at 2 to 3 hits, and yeah, the lock on messes up with these guys. Once they get up, you lose your lock on and you have to redo it, and by then you won't have locked off with the backstab. Of course, you could go up manually and backstab them, but I wasn't thinking straight there. I thought it glitched the first time, so when it happened the second time, I was like, oh, whatever. I get that. I actually kick this crystal beast's ass. He doesn't get one hit off. He doesn't even get one hit off. Yeah, just dies. Which is nice. It's revenge for the first one in the game kicking my butt, I guess. I unlock a shortcut back to Crucifixion once, although this is probably the most worthless shortcut in the game because at this point you'll not want to go back to Crucifixion once, you'll already have passed it. Although I guess it means that you could get easier Black Knight farming if you so desired, although it's just as far away from the Crucifixion Woods bonfire anyway, so it's no, like, shorter. I mean, I guess the gate serves to show you that there is actually a path there, so that if you are in Farron Keep, you will actually try and, you know, search for that. You know, you'll say, where was that thing I seen earlier, and go around and maybe find it. You would maybe not have found it if you hadn't had that bit of curiosity, I don't know, but still, it seems kind of useless. Maybe they could have just showed you a window and it would have been just as fine, although I guess at that point, does it really matter? And I try and run into this tree here like a noob for about 3 seconds, not knowing what I'm doing, before realizing the enemies at the next 3, and I am going to sneak up behind this guy and get the backstab. That was pretty awesome. And yeah, that's pretty good, I guess. I'm going to kill off all of these enemies here. Well, not all of them actually, I'm going to skip quite a few of them, but I'm going to kill off the enemies on this right hand side of the ground and then come around and pick up the loot from the other ones, because the dark wraiths that are coming, you must have seen them earlier, 2 of them will fight those screw and either die or not die, and they'll kill the dark wraiths. It actually really does change up. It's not the AI the exact same every time, and sometimes the dark wraiths get killed before they even take out one grue. Sometimes they kill all of the grue without taking any damage or barely any damage because they're faster swords. It really depends on just controlling grue and all of that stuff. And as well, if the grue can, you know, just get a lucky first hit in and stun lock them to death. I mean, 3 grue is nothing to laugh at. But yeah, I just picked up some of the items on the right side. I'm looking at the health bars there of the grues and the dark wraiths fighting, but I'll take advantage of that and go and backstab these 2 grue sitting down. I may as well take them out quickly and quietly. And oddly enough, when I backstab the first one, the second one is just sitting there, which is odd, because if you stood and he didn't seem to get up, so he's not sleeping. Is he just deaf and not giving a damn about his friend there? Like, oh, maybe he won't notice me. And this is the summon Blackhand Gotthard of the area for the boss. I won't say when it's close to this very good. I'm going to make an exception. Not if there's a tough boss, but if there's like a boss that has a quest line or something, I don't know. I probably won't. It seems so pointless because this game isn't particularly hard, especially after you get it once anyways. And I do get the loot from the dark wraiths, although there's only one dark wraith body I found. The other one must have either disappeared or something, because I certainly couldn't find any shining items above any of the bodies, or see a dark wraith corpse. So yeah. And next, continuing on to the boss, and that's pretty much Farron Keep, guys. That's literally everything in the area. I picked up every item, and yeah, now we're going to go and fight the Abyss Watchers. So I hope you guys enjoy this fight. I'll go through the cutscenes, and it's pretty darn awesome. Opening these doors, of course, pretty damn fun. Don't you just love opening doors? Do my slow, cool-ass Batman walk straight into the room and, you know, look tough. Piss Watchers kicking each other's asses. This cutscene is probably one of the favorites in my game. One of my favorites in the game. Just the Legion etiquette gesture that happens right here is just so good. I love it. It's actually a really interesting fight. It's kind of easy, but it's a kind of large difficulty spike compared to the stuff like the Crystal Sage and the Deacons of the Deep, which were just so damn easy. This is a lot harder than that, but still kind of easy, mainly because the boss can be staggered really easily. But yeah, let's get straight to this fight. Generally, they don't hit very hard, so as long as you avoid just a couple of hits in the combo, you can do pretty well. Like, you don't even avoid most things, just a lot of them, because they don't hit hard at all, and that's one of their main problems. They do avoid the attacks that they can, they just try and trade blows over the map, because they're one hit from me and stagger them, and then stagger me, but not do a lot of damage, so I don't care. You know what I mean? I'm 7 plus the Estus, which is quite a lot. Finish this guy. Actually, I don't finish this guy. His red friend kills him by friendly fire, which you see right here. He just tries to swing for me and kills the other guy, which I thought was golden. It was such a beautiful boss fight. And I didn't really get to show off in that first phase the fact that they kill each other, they fight each other. Once 3 of them spawn, the ones with the red eyes will fight the other Piss Watchers and damage them. And you see them damage each other, but you didn't see them fighting each other because they were both attacking me, and you just swing and hit the other one while I was targeting them. But yeah, they do fight each other, which is so awesome. I do like to know when it happens. Before it starts to kind of solve anything, because at that point it's just too much of a mess. But there's just one of them from now on. There's much more powerful, they're much different difficulty of their moveset. They can still be staggered quite easily, but he does have a backstab which gets a lot of BB long stars. He's a bit harder. And yeah, these long black pauses of cutscenes builds up. I'm not sure what it is, because the PS1 might not be perfect for loading, but it certainly isn't that slow for yeah, this is like just it's so atmospheric too. It's something that is just difficult. It's like it's not yeah, it's just kind of a good fight in general. It's just so good. It's just so fun. I love this fight so much. It's actually one of my top 5 fights in the game. And this is one I look forward to whenever I'm in Farron Keep, and it's like, that's one of the reasons I love the area so much, is because you get to fight these guys with friends and Piss Watchers. I thought I would have got the backstab there, because you can backstab this boss, but I do get some swishable, which is like sword fusion off, so that's it guys. I killed the boss of the area, I've done everything in the area, got all the items. And thank you for watching. If you did enjoy, please subscribe, of course, and peace out.